もう絶対に一緒にお風呂に入ってあげないからね。
しょうがない。交代してやる。
My jaw was literally on the floor for this scene. This is the funniest thing Dragon Ball has done in years. This is peak comedy, and it's so funny because it is Vegeta and Bulma before Dragon Ball Super, before we get to see their relationship really blossom, where Vegeta really cares. We get a hint of that after the Buu saga, and you could tell like they absolutely love each other. He's always looking after her. He's always trying to take care of her, and now we find out that she takes care of him too. So he was not gonna lose that alone time, if you know what I mean. He was not gonna lose that. I love that scene. This whole episode, better than the one that I said previously was the best episode of Dragon Ball Daima. This is the best episode so far. But there are a few things that came in the episode that I was right about and I was wrong about, and I want to go ahead and go over my thoughts on this episode here with you guys because yeah, this was an insane episode. Let me know actually what you guys thought of this one, if you guys have seen it already, in the comments below. First, to get it out of the way, I'm so glad that we didn't get to go into like a really sad backstory for Glorio, or like didn't stretch that part out where he betrayed them or whatever. They kind of forgave him right away. We find out he really was only working with Dr. Orinzu. Dr. Orinzu isn't really like a bad guy like that, so I'm happy that it was quick and over and done with, and that to me was satisfying. But we find out a lot about Dragon Ball's transformations, specifically Super Saiyan 3, and we find out a lot about this evil eye. So Vegeta decides to attack Gomah in his base form, and he does damage. He does damage to him in his Super Saiyan form, but it looks like the evil eye, every single time that Gomah takes damage, it makes him stronger and heals him, making him more durable, and he kept getting stronger. But I also want to mention something that I was wrong about. A lot of you guys called me out in the comment section telling me that they were little, so they were weaker. And I was like, no, they just have to get used to their body, blah, blah, blah. And no. It looks like the only way you can explain that Vegeta was doing the harm to Gomah that Super Saiyan 4 Mini Goku really couldn't at the time is that they were little. And now with their adult bodies and everything can come out 100%, looks like we're working on Dragon Ball GT rules, and yeah, making them into mini versions of themselves definitely made them a lot weaker. It seems like that is the only explanation why Vegeta was doing the damage that he was doing. But honestly, I'm not even mad, because I feel like in this scenario right here, with this fight, it makes perfect sense that Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, as I've been saying it, something that I've been right about, definitely has a edge against the any other Super Saiyan 3 variant. He is absolutely a master at Super Saiyan 3, but Super Saiyan 3 still has its main problems, which is the stamina drain. Now, Vegeta does fight Gomah and defeat him, quote-unquote defeat him, several times over, especially with the final flash, but the strain on the Super Saiyan 3 means that that transformation cannot last forever, and that's exactly what Goku says. And Vegeta goes back to base, and then he still continues to try to fight Gomah, and it takes Bulma threatening him not getting any Poon that he decides, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take a step back, somebody else can go ahead and fight them. And we find out that the only way to remove the third eye is by punching Gomah, I think 3 times in the back of the head, which to me is making me a little bit nervous, because yeah, that means that they only need 3 punches in the back of the head for Gomah, which could mean we are not going to get a fusion in the next episode, which would be the finale, which would be really weird because they set up those bugs and his back to fall down for nothing. So I really do think that it won't be easy to hit him in the back of the head like that, or they need someone stronger to hit him in the back of the head. And so I do see with my third eye that there is a fusion at the end of this, but just the way to defeat Gomah by hitting him several times in the back of the head being so simple, well, that got me a little scared, you know, that there's not going to be a fusion, but I feel like there is going to be a fusion logically with everything they set up, foreshadowing. On a side note, Dr. Renzo and Majin Ku's relationship growing stronger, where now she doesn't just see him as like, you know, you're a failed warrior, but really he's a very useful sidekick. If anything, he's kind of like SpongeBob a little bit, and really helpful. So I'm glad that she finally sees him for what he is and is able to like be nice to him, I guess. So that was something good from the episode. But man, oh man, first of all, the transformation sequence for Vegeta going into Super Saiyan 3 was pretty cool, but we already got a really drawn out sequence of him doing that back when he was Mini. But the one for Goku, him going into the Super Saiyan transformations to buy time, it was such a great callback. Not only visually was it a great callback to exactly what happened against Majin Buu, but it's a great callback to that same scenario, because in that scenario they needed to buy time so Trunks can get the Dragon Radar. And in this they need to buy time because I'm assuming Piccolo's gonna punch him in the back of the head several times over, and that's why Goku does what he does, and he goes through every single transformation that he has. But the transformation between Super Saiyan 3 and 4, let me tell you. That's just a little snippet of it. That isn't that amazing. He rips off his shirt too, so it just doesn't magically get removed like GT and their magical clothes problem, which a lot of Dragon Ball GT transformations have, especially the Super Saiyan 4 transformations. He actually removes his own shirt. He transforms fully into the Super Saiyan 4 variant, and the light, the power, everything coming from that transformation, it goes through all the demon realms. That's how we get to see the other two Tamagamis. It is a great transformation. Honestly, I think that this one rivals his original one where he originally transforms into it, and he looks great as an adult variant. I mean, obviously what we have been speculating all week for him to look like, that's exactly what he looks like. He just looks like Super Saiyan 4 from GT with different coloring and less hair on his forearms. That's basically it, but it's so well done, and his fur, his hair color, his forearms being huge. It's not just something for the miniature version. His forearms as an adult are ginormous. Those things are meat mallets. The biggest problem, which I do want to make a video on later on, is that he goes into Super Saiyan 4 easily. Like, he can just transform from 3 to 4. That's the biggest problem right now. How the hell are we going to how are we going to explain that he doesn't have this transformation in Dragon Ball Super? Are we in a different timeline or something? Like, what is going on here? Because I thought that maybe he couldn't go back into it like this unless Neva activated it, but it looks like it's a part of him now. To the point where even Vegeta and everybody else was surprised that he could just go into it. But now he's got this transformation that we've never seen before. So I'm assuming next episode there's gonna be an explanation as to why. We'll have to wait and see, honestly. But let me know what you guys think about this episode 19 that we've been waiting for in the comments.